Hi, this is Jana with the ISGF recruiting team. You've worked hard to get the interview. Now it's time to make sure you ace it. As you know, it's a competitive world out there. Even if you're already a good interviewee, it's almost always the case that you can improve something. Let's start with a phone interview. There are 7 key things to remember. Always take a surprise call in stride. Beware of over-familiarity. Use surname unless invited otherwise. Allow the company representative to do most of the talking. Avoid giving yes or no answers. Speak clearly and directly into the phone for phone interviews. Take good notes. An extra tip for phone interviews: be sure you're in a quiet place where you can speak freely. If you've been called in for an in-person interview, there are other variables that you should be cognizant of. Often is the case, interviewees overlook the importance of dressing for the interview. You only have one chance to make a first impression. Dressing professional says you understand the particulars of corporate life and you can be relied upon to deal one-on-one with members of the company. Even if the company culture is business casual or casual, taking the time to present an attractive professional image before your interview will add to your own self-esteem and confidence. For instance, proper traditional men's interview attire would include suit, solid color, navy or dark gray; long sleeve shirt, white or coordinated with the suit; belt, tie, dark socks with conservative leather shoes, little or no jewelry; neat professional hairstyle; limit the aftershave or cologne; neatly trimmed nails; and a portfolio or briefcase for holding your notepad. Proper traditional women's attire interview would incorporate suit, navy, black, or dark gray. The suit skirt should be long enough so you can sit comfortably. A coordinated blouse, conservative shoes. Remember, limited to no jewelry, no dangling earrings, professional hairstyle, neutral pantyhose if you're wearing them, light makeup and perfume, neatly manicured nails, and a portfolio or briefcase for holding your notepad. When conducting an in-person interview, it's important to realize that your body language says a lot about you. When your body language complements your verbal statements, your message will gain a great deal of impact. The handshake should be executed professionally and politely, but always firmly. Personal zone, 30 inches from their nose. Maintain this distance at a minimum throughout the interview and be particularly watchful of intrusions during your early stages when you meet, greet, and take a seat. Your smile is one of the most powerful positive body signs in your arsenal. Offer an unforced, confident smile as frequently as opportunities and circumstances dictate. Be cognizant of the interviewer's body language and attempt to mirror theirs without being too obvious. During the interview, always answer the questions asked. Don't babble. Examples are almost always helpful, preferably specific and relevant examples, although hypothetical examples are fine if a specific example isn't available. Almost every answer should include a brief example or clarification. Be prepared for tough questions. Tough questions come in the form of: describe a situation where your work or an idea was criticized. Have you done the best work you're capable of? What problems do you have getting along with others? What are some of the things your supervisor did that you disliked? What aspects of your job do you consider most crucial? If you're fortunate enough to have an interviewer ask most of the common questions, it doesn't mean you should wing them. These questions, though very basic in nature, can have a significant impact on whether you get the job or not. Common questions shouldn't be answered with common responses. You should never try to answer these questions off the cuff, but instead prepare for them. Ideally, come with succinct answers that you can say naturally without it sounding like a memorized speech. Example: tell me about yourself. Answer from a work perspective. Talk about things like your level of motivation, the satisfaction you get from doing things well. If the client specifically asks for information about you personally after you give a work-related answer, then you can answer their question, but still try to steer towards things that contribute towards your chances for the job. Or rate your skills on a scale of 1 to 10. Lead each answer with a concise one-sentence explanation, then your self-rating. More than one sentence is too long. People might think you're trying to avoid the question or being overly defensive about it. Keep it short. The explanation lets you include valuable information and explain away any differences in your personal rating system to the interviewer. Examples: I know Java extremely well, but I don't think anyone can truly be a 10, so I'll say 9. Or I have only a few months of Java, but I know C++ very well, so I'd say a 5 or 6. Another example, what are your strengths and weaknesses? For strengths, choose something work-related. For weaknesses, try to follow these guidelines. Choose an old weakness that you had that is now fixed. For example, earlier in my career, I was motivated by the technology more than the business, but I've learned to balance the technical skills with learning more about the business too. Or discuss a weakness that doesn't matter for the job you're interviewing for. Well, I wish I knew more about networking when it's a programming position you're applying for, or vice versa. I wish I knew more about programming when it's a networking position you're applying for. Or discuss something you may not like doing but that you're good at anyway. Well, I can't say I love doing testing, but I put a lot of pride in my work and I do it very thoroughly anyway. Of course, you'd use a different example if you were applying for a testing position. It's extremely important that you just mention one weakness and stop. Only give more if asked to do so. Why are you leaving your current job? Don't lie, but be sure to be upbeat, professional, and not say bad things about your current employer. Tell me about a time you had a difficult coworker. How did you handle it? They are looking for a balanced answer, clues that you're neither too passive, I let them have their way immediately, or too aggressive, I got into a major argument with them immediately. The right answer is that you appropriately and professionally attempted to resolve the situation on your own at first, and if it didn't work, then you escalated the issue to management. Describe a situation where your work or an idea you had was criticized. Very few interview questions should be answered with just yes or no. Be sure to toss in examples every time you have that opportunity. Do you know Java? Yes, I do. I've spent the past 2 years working with Java 2 is more convincing than just yes. Can you work overtime? Can you travel? Can you work weekends? Each of these topics should be discussed with your recruiter in advance to know whether the job requires any of these, and based on those answers, whether or not the job is a fit for you. If your answer is no, when the client needs a yes, tell us in advance. It's better not to go in on the interview than to go in on one when you know it won't be a fit. We'll never ask you to say yes if your answer is really no. However, you do need to be prepared and informed enough to provide a straight and honest answer. If your answer is not a hesitation-free yes I can with examples we just discussed, please discuss this with your recruiter before your interview. Usually, we know in advance if the job question involves overtime, travel, or weekends. On any given day at ISGF, we have many job seekers conducting interviews with our clients. Needless to say, we've seen the good, but we've also seen the bad. Here are some tips to help you from making costly mistakes in your interview. When you walk into a job interview, you should have some knowledge on the company's history, goals, and current activities. This helps the interviewer know that you are not only prepared, but also want to be a part of the organization. Do your research, and it will pay off. Get directions or drive the route the night before and arrive early. If something happens to tie you up and you can't make the interview on time, call ahead and request to reschedule or ask if you can be 10 minutes late. Nothing says lazy and disorganized more than arriving late to an interview. Leave your gum, smoking, and drinking at home. These are all items that may help calm your nerves, but none of them will help you now. More and more employers are less likely to hire smokers. If you are interviewing at lunch or dinner, others may order drinks, but you should not. Dress for the interview. You're not visiting with friends and you're not going to a funeral or wedding. Instead, you are interviewing for a job in a business environment and you should look the part. During the interview, it is essential that you're friendly with your interviewer, but engaging in too much camaraderie may not work in your favor. Don't spill your secrets, complain about your last job, or believe the interviewer is your personal therapist. This is a time to be professional and instill confidence in the interviewer that you can do the job. So you've made it this far in the interview. Now it's time to seal the deal, to close the interview. When doing so, remember to always thank the interviewer for their time, have a firm handshake, and ask the interviewer for their business card. Express your sincere interest in the opportunity and always send a thank you card or thank you email. I hope you found this video helpful. If you've gained even one helpful hint throughout, then we're confident that you're one step ahead of your competition. At ISGF, we're here for you every step of the way. Should you have any additional questions, please feel free to always reach out to your recruiter. I'm Jana with the ISGF recruiting team, thanking you for your time and wishing you the best of success. After all, at ISGF, your success is our story.